Hi everyone, my name is Sasha J and this is
Dan Tester.
And today we're sitting down reacting to some street interviews that we've done, talking all about the retirement sandwich that our team have reported on recently and why it's so important and the benefits to get advice.
100%.
Let's dig into it.
Let's do it.
Is seeking financial advice for your eventual retirement something you've ever thought about?
No, because I'm in my final year of uni, so I haven't ever completely immersed myself in like a career. Sort of spent my 20s traveling or just doing random jobs. So I think it was something that came up when I was like, oh, I'm going to have a real salary as of next year. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed. But I'm going to have a career. I'm studying social work and I will have to start thinking about those sorts of things and like ultimately an end goal.
Yeah, I don't think it's really come across my mind in terms of something that I've like had to do, like a pressing thing. But I think as I get older, then yeah, it will probably.
Just a question, Sosh. Do you think we have good financial literacy awareness throughout our education system in this country?
I would say no.
These are two examples like highlighting that, and this is the important stuff. We talk about the retirement sandwich, preparation for advice, or even just getting that level of awareness. It's not to say that it forms the biggest part of your, your focal point, but having that awareness. We've got two examples here where maybe they're not as well prepared for their financial future, and it's probably a good time to start thinking about it a little bit more.
I'll have to probably seek financial advice from some professional. Yeah.
I think that like I'm maybe a little bit different than the mainstream. That like I don't actually like live my life thinking that retirement is like the goal. Like I don't want to work my whole life and feel like a slave to a system and then retire when I'm decrepit and don't have the energy and don't have the vitality to enjoy life. I'm trying to exist or mediate a lifestyle where I work to live my life now because I'm young and I've got the energy now. So I think like with that, that's not as conducive to how like we've sort of been sold the trajectory of like career to retirement. Whereas like I think the whole idea of retirement is a bit of a scam within itself because I think we should be living right now and not working ourselves to the grave.
I think there's a great book that talks to this. It's called Die with Zero.
Okay.
It's all about lifestyle choices that you live by experiences now, and the experience buckets. And you do yourself a favour, check that out. Not that that's part of our retirement sandwich series, but it's a great book. But this talks to a lot of the generational stuff where it is that we're not worrying about the financial future, we're worrying about now and living life in the now. And the experiences, we don't know what that actually means. Now, we know from this example, this person here was fairly well off. I think one of the earlier series that we spoke of, and we interviewed her. But that's not everyone, so everyone's going to have their own sort of flavour. But this is very much, I think we're seeing it a bit more in the generational side. I know I've spoken to a few clients who have passed the details on to younger family members, ready to start planning, or they've received a bit of an inheritance. Have you come across any of that?
I do, yeah. And whilst this series, is about the retirement sandwich, I think we need to also mention that financial planning is not all about retirement.
No.
It's also, what can we do now and what's the life that we do want to live now and how long do we want to work till, and all of those things come into the holistic financial approach that we do take with clients.
Definitely.
So when I do get, a referral from a client's, for a client's child, it's a whole different plan to what I would look at for a retiree, and a lot of times it can help that person live the lifestyle that they want to do instead of of it as something that's unachievable.
So true, and I think we're seeing more younger clientele engage in financial advice for can I afford my first home? There's the first home super saver schemes and things like that. So engaging in professional services around financial advice sooner for transactional events, life events that happen. We're getting married, we're starting a family. How are we going to afford school? Has nothing to do with retirement. It has to do with our expenses and our cash flow management. So these are all great examples, and it just brings home. Start seeking advice earlier for these types of things.
Our research shows that seeking financial advice can significantly increase your confidence when it comes to retirement. Yet over 50% of people don't seek any advice before they retire. Why do you think that might be?
I don't know. Is it fear of the unknown? I mean, I just would not do it because there's so many tax implications now and what you can and can't do with your money and if you want to add, I've just gone through all this finding the advice about how to add to my super where I don't get taxed on it, and you know, that sort of stuff. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. I don't know. I think it's fear of the unknown, or it's my money and I know what I'm doing. I've been with this bank forever. That's it. Done.
Just before we jump on to the next guy, she's brought up some really great points. It's that fear of the unknown. I know there's a lot of research reports outside of the Findex reports that we've produced that talk to the behavioural side of money and that fear.
Yep.
Have you read some of that report and
I
some
have,
of those?
yeah, and
providers?
I've also seen it in real life with clients when they come and just say, well, we're just unsure about moving our money. We've been at the super fund for years, but then we educate them, we get them through the line, and we make that move or whatever advice that we implement. And then their brain goes, well, why didn't we do this beforehand? So
Hindsight's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well, that's it. And it's one of those things that, how coming to us is probably making that less of an unknown. It's making that a known. And so why wouldn't you, want to make that a known for your life?
Definitely.
So we help so many of these clients kind of go through that, because it is a worry and it is, something that's very common. But yeah, it's part of our job. It's what we do for our clients to make it a known for them.
We know what is good for people. It's about educating those on that, and it's the qualitative and the quantitative, and balancing out the fee savings and the tax benefits, as she started to allude to. But it's actually how it makes you feel and the confidence. As the report that we've produced suggests, over 55% of people are still not engaging in financial advice, even though it would lead to more confident financial decisions. That's a huge number. So it's a turning tide, and hopefully we start to see that come down and see more people engage in advice sooner.
I don't think they're at that stage where they've got options with money. I think a lot of people are living to their means, and thus, maybe given that, there's maybe still some advice to be had, but I always think that I'm going to need a lot more financial advice once I've kind of gone beyond that, living by my means. And I think that I'm not quite there yet, and I don't think a lot of people my age are quite there yet.
I think it's just probably very daunting, and as well I think costs involved. I imagine I've never sought financial advice from a professional, but I assume that there are also cost pressures involved within that.
It's an interesting one, because I haven't heard many people talk about it, on how some people actually find it quite nerve-wracking to talk to an advisor, because in reality a lot of people actually haven't sat down next to someone and just given them their life story of their finances and stuff, and it's huge.
It's a taboo topic, right? Like really money, it's like, oh, don't talk to me about my financial
and especially
position.
people coming from cultural backgrounds. For me, my example, my family and things, it just wasn't something that was just openly talked about, and it's a lot more common than people think it is. So then when you hear about going and speaking to this person in a corporate outfit, it is daunting, but I think it's also reassuring to see some clients kind of go through that and then realize, okay, it wasn't that scary. If anything, we're doing the right steps to get to a better place than I was beforehand.
Definitely. I think we need to probably look at getting a more relaxed outfit. And if we're worried about the suit or the corporate outfit, maybe go and see an advisor in trackies that might work, to demystify and lower the pressure. And I think two really good examples here with the two gentlemen, that we're talking about the lack of confidence or unknowns around that, but also to the guy just before saying, at a future point in time, because I will outlive what my means are now, or need to seek advice because I will have more than I know what to do with. That's exactly what we're facing at the moment with the intergenerational wealth transfer. We've got an uninitiated, underprepared cohort of individuals that are going to inherit a lot of money in the next 20 years. Imagine handing that across to, it's like learn a driver driving a high-power sports car. That's why they don't exist. Ends up in a tree, or these are the types of things that with money is no different.
I think the system is designed to keep people financially illiterate. I think that is quite literally by design. It's like the rich understand the loopholes, the tax breaks, and all the ways to protect their money. And in school, we're learning Pythagoras' theory, and we're not even learning the
financial
basics
literacy.
of budgeting or finances, or how to invest your money and make your money into more money. And I truly think that is by design.
Wow. wrapping up, I think that's just kind of cemented the reasons why it's important to start getting some advice, or even just engaging in financial conversations at home sooner rather than later.
So important. So important. Yeah.
Well, if you've liked what you have watched today, please don't forget to click the links, like, subscribe, download the Retirement Sandwich Report. And if you or anyone in your family needs to start the conversation with a financial advisor, please reach out. We're only too happy to help.